the electrifying rookie, Jalen Tyson. Back to Harden! Oh, yes! James Harden has given the Cavaliers the lead as Harden, Kansas City. The Spider has spoken.
Last May, the Cleveland Cavaliers were the best team in the East, 64-18. Coach of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, the #1 seed. And they got bounced in the second round. Again, this franchise has one championship. One. And it took the greatest player on the planet coming home to get it. Now, they just added a former MVP. They've won 10 of their last 11. Donovan Mitchell is having a career year. And Cleveland didn't just make a trade, they made a statement. Everybody said this core hit their ceiling, so Cleveland called their bluff. And now, the Cavaliers just became exactly what the NBA feared. But to understand why this move matters, you have to understand what this franchise has been through without LeBron. Let me paint you a picture. The Cleveland Cavaliers have existed for 56 years. 56. And in all that time, they have exactly one championship. One. And it took LeBron James, the greatest player on the planet, coming home, trailing 3-1 in the finals against a 73-win Warriors team that had just shattered the all-time regular season record and pulling off the greatest comeback in NBA history just to get it. That's not a franchise. That's a hostage situation. Here's the stat that really stings. Before 2024, Cleveland hadn't won a single playoff series without LeBron since 1993. 31 years. An entire generation of fans who never tasted postseason success unless the king was wearing wine and gold. And every time he left, the bottom fell out. Every single time. 2010, LeBron takes his talents to South Beach. Cleveland goes 19-63, worst record in the East. 2018, LeBron leaves for LA. Cleveland goes 1963. Again, same record, same collapse, same story, like clockwork. The pattern was undeniable. Without LeBron, Cleveland was nothing. Just a franchise, waiting to fall apart. But then something shifted. September 2022. The Cavaliers traded for Donovan Mitchell, a 3-time All-Star, a bucket getter, a guy who didn't just want to pass through Cleveland, he wanted to build something real. He signed the extension. He committed. No more rental stars. No more waiting for LeBron to save them. Around him, the pieces fell into place. Evan Mobley, a defensive unicorn with offensive potential still untapped. Jarrett Allen, an all-star center anchoring the paint. Darius Garland, a silky point guard who could score and create. The core four was born. Young, talented, and for the first time in years, Cleveland was competitive without waiting for a savior. Then came 2024, first round, Orlando, Game 7. Cleveland trailed by 18. The season was slipping away, and Mitchell refused to let it die. 89 points in the final 2 games. The Cavaliers won their first playoff series without LeBron since 1993. But Boston ended their run in 5 games. The whispers started again. Can this core actually win? So Cleveland went back to the drawing board. And what happened next? Nobody saw coming. The 24-25 Cleveland Cavaliers didn't just arrive. They announced themselves. Opening night, win. Game 2, win. Game 3, 4, 5. Win, win, win. They kept winning until the record hit 15-0. Only the 4th team in NBA history to start a season undefeated that long. They set a new franchise record, and they did it with a first-year head coach running the show. By season's end, Cleveland had compiled a 64-18 record, the best offensive rating in the entire league. 3 All-Stars, Mitchell, Garland, and Mobley. Kenny Atkinson won Coach of the Year. Evan Mobley took home Defensive Player of the Year. The numbers were historic. The expectations? Championship or bust. Round 1, Miami Heat. Cleveland swept them without breaking a sweat. 4 games. Done. Dominant from start to finish. Everything was going according to plan. Then Indiana happened. The Pacers, a team Cleveland had handled in the regular season, came in and dismantled them. It wasn't close. 4-1. 5 games of frustration, confusion, and ultimately, humiliation. But Game 4? That was the moment that haunted Cleveland all summer. Down 41 at halftime. 41 points. At home. In a must-win game. The Pacers didn't just beat Cleveland, they embarrassed them. On national television. In front of their own fans. And here's the stat that made it sting even more. Indiana went 5-0 in Cleveland's own building that entire season. The Cavaliers couldn't beat them once on their home floor. Straight second-round exit. Same result. Different year. Same gut-wrenching disappointment. The offseason brought uncomfortable questions. Was this core good enough? Or were they just a regular season team? One that piled up wins in November and crumbled when the lights got bright. The whispers grew louder. Maybe Mitchell needs more help. Maybe Garland and Mitchell together doesn't work when defenses tighten up. Maybe Cleveland already hit their ceiling. Maybe they were fool's gold all along. Then 25-26 started, and instead of silencing the doubters, the Cavaliers confirmed their fears. Through late January, Cleveland sat at 24-20, nowhere near last year's pace. The magic was gone. The swagger had vanished. Injuries piled up. Mobley went down with a calf strain. Garland battled toe issues that kept him in and out of the lineup. The offense that had been unstoppable now sputtered through stretches of mediocrity. The front office faced a choice. Run it back, hope for health, and pray this core figures it out. Or swing for the fences and change the trajectory of the franchise. Cleveland chose violence. February 3rd, 2026. 2 days before the trade deadline. Cleveland pulled the trigger. Darius Garland, a 2-time All-Star, homegrown talent, beloved in the city, was traded to the Los Angeles Clippers. In return, James Harden. The basketball world stopped. Cleveland just broke up their core 4. They bet everything on a 36-year-old who bounced between 5 different teams. A guy with more drama than playoff series wins in the last half-decade. A player some had written off as a regular season stat patter who disappears when it matters. This was either genius or desperation. There was no in-between. But here's what the skeptics missed. The logic was bulletproof. Mitchell needed a co-creator, someone who could run the offense when defenses loaded up on him, someone who could take the ball, break down a defense in the half court, and deliver in the clutch. Someone who'd been there before. And Harden? He wasn't washed. He was averaging 25.4 points per game this season, his best scoring output in 6 years. The man still had it. He just needed the right situation. Cleveland offered exactly that, a chance to compete for a championship, a star who could share the load, a front office willing to bet on him when others wouldn't. Kobe Altman didn't mince words after the deal. We think that he raises our ceiling and gives us a chance to have real playoff success. This is not a trade that we took lightly. Real playoff success. That's the key phrase. Cleveland wasn't thinking about the regular season anymore. They were building for April, May, and June. The fit made sense on paper. Harden's methodical, half-court playmaking perfectly complements Mitchell's speed and attacking mentality. When Harden has the ball, defenses have to react. Every step toward the rim forces help. That creates open shots for Mitchell, Allen, Mobley, everyone. But paper doesn't win games. Harden had to prove it on the court. February 7th, Sacramento, his debut. Harden scores 23 points, 15 of them in the fourth quarter alone. Perfect shooting down the stretch. Cleveland wins their 8th game in 9 tries. 3 days later, Denver. A real test. The Cavaliers trailed by 11 in the fourth quarter against Nikola Jokic on the road. The old Cleveland would have folded. Not this team. Not anymore. Harden hit a step-back 3 with 32 seconds left to tie the game. Mitchell buried the free throws with 0.9 seconds remaining. Cleveland won 119-117. That fourth quarter, Mitchell and Harden combined for 32 points. They became the first Cavaliers duo to each score 15 or more in a fourth quarter since the play-by-play era began. 2 games, 2 clutch performances. The Harden era had arrived. But adding Harden wasn't just about offense, it was about something deeper. Let's talk about what this team has become. Donovan Mitchell isn't just playing well, he's having the best season of his career, and it's not even close. 29.0 points per game, 5th in the entire league. Career high. He's already racked up 28 games with 30 or more points this season, 4th most in the NBA. He's recorded a steal in 23 consecutive games, a new career best, and the most three-pointers made in the league this season? That's Mitchell too, 183 and counting. This isn't the same player who got bounced by Boston 2 years ago. This is a superstar operating at his absolute peak, a man on a mission. And now, he's got help. Jarrett Allen has been a monster, double-doubles on demand, 4 straight, heading into the All-Star break. He's anchoring the paint defensively while thriving as the roll man in Cleveland's pick-and-roll attack. Against Sacramento in Harden's debut, Allen dropped 29 points on near-perfect shooting. He's not just surviving alongside the new backcourt, he's feasting. The lob threat alone is keeping defenses up at night. Then there's Evan Mobley, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. When healthy, he's averaging 17.9 points, 8.8 rebounds, and 4.0 assists while locking down the opposing team's best player. A calf strain has kept him sidelined recently, but his return adds an entirely different dimension to this roster. A dimension most teams simply can't match. And the depth? It showed up when Cleveland needed it most. Harden's home debut against Washington. Sam Merrill, a role player most casual fans couldn't name, exploded for 32 points. He set an NBA record by hitting 7 consecutive three-pointers without a miss in the first half. Cleveland won by 25. It wasn't even competitive by halftime. This team isn't relying on one guy anymore. They're built. But here's what the Harden trade really means for the playoffs. Cleveland now has 2 elite closers. When defense is key on Mitchell, Harden can take over. When they load up on Harden, Mitchell attacks. There's no right answer anymore. Pick your poison. Either way, you're losing. Add Mobley's defensive versatility when he returns, Allen's rim protection, and shooters who can space the floor. And you have a team constructed to win playoff series, not just regular season games. Playoff series, the kind that matter in June. The standings reflect the surge. Cleveland sits at 34-21, 4th in the East, 5 straight wins, 10 of their last 11. Detroit leads the conference at 40-13, but the Cavaliers are getting hot at exactly the right time. The path through the East is there. Boston is dealing with injuries. New York is talented but inconsistent. And unlike last year, Cleveland has the closer they were missing. But here's the scary part for the rest of the league. This isn't the ceiling. Mobley hasn't played a single minute with Harden yet. The chemistry between Mitchell and Harden is still developing. They've played 3 games together. The rotations are still being figured out. If this is the floor, clutch wins over Denver, dominant home victories, a team that doesn't panic when they're down 11 in the 4th quarter, then what does the ceiling look like? Nobody knows yet. And that uncertainty should terrify the East. Cleveland has been chasing LeBron's ghost for a decade. Maybe it's time they stop chasing. Maybe it's time they become the team everyone else fears. From 19-63 without LeBron to 64 wins with a homegrown star. From 0 playoff series wins in 31 years to legitimate championship contenders. Cleveland didn't wait for permission. They bet on themselves. The Harden trade wasn't just about this season. It was about changing the franchise's DNA. This team isn't satisfied with competitive anymore. They want rings. For years, Cleveland was the team nobody feared, the franchise that couldn't win without the king. But these Cavaliers, they stopped waiting for a savior. They built their own legacy. And now, the rest of the NBA isn't laughing anymore. They're watching, because Cleveland just became exactly what they feared. Can the Cavs win it all? Drop your take below. Hype the video, and please help us get to 10,000 subscribers. I'll see you in the next one.